Do you find as a parent that it's difficult to accept that there potentially can be a problem with your child? And it's really difficult when you hear it from other people. You hear it from the teacher who's got a concern, who's talking about your child finishing their work, being impulsive with their behavior, putting their hand up and talking without being asked, or just interrupting. Very talkative, impulsive, maybe emotional, having difficulty waiting their turn. And you know, when you have this information fed back to you, it can be really difficult to accept when you don't necessarily see these problems at home. And you know, when you have a child that needs your help, you instinctively as a parent will do everything you can. And you know, sometimes parents do so much at home that they mask the problems that their child has. So, you know, if that child has to be woken up in the morning, dressed by their parent, every waking moment is controlled and performed, every function, so they don't have to do a lot on their own. And parents create the environment to protect, to make sure there aren't the hurtful consequences of the difficulties. So you're not going to see this at home. So when other family members or other parents comment on difficulties or behavior problems that your child has, it's very, very difficult to accept. And recently I experienced one of my patients who, you know, had been having problems at school, difficulty with their work, difficulty sitting down, concentrating, problems with inattention, tended to be just almost like a brain fog, not really there, in a far away kind of place. When I asked this child, you know, what do you think about in class? Well, they were talking about the way they were, the computer game. They wanted to get back and play Minecraft after school. They were talking about the different levels that they had to get to. And in a way, if you think about this, if this problem's left, the child attends school. They attend school for 5 days a week, but probably for at least 1 or 2 of those days, they're there in body, but not in mind. And with time, there's going to be a scholastic gap. That child's going to have difficulty with keeping up. It's almost as though they're missing school. And because they're not finishing work in class, they're not meeting the standard of the other children, their self-esteem is going to be affected. And then there are going to be issues that might appear as a learning problem. So it's difficult, I know, for parents to hear from teachers in particular when they have to, your child has to sit in class and are not having to do the same requirements that they do at home. They're having to sit, listen, do, interact, look after themselves, do things on their own. Sometimes after sport, dress, get ready, pack away. And those are things that you're not going to necessarily see at home because often parents and nannies do those tasks for them. So, you know, acceptance of a problem is a difficult problem, particularly when you don't see it at home. So I encourage you to listen and get more information and ask teachers what specifically are the problems. And don't wait until there's a huge scholastic lag, there's a huge learning problem gap. Try to get that help. You know, it's sometimes very, very difficult to accept that there could be a problem if you don't see it at home.